In healthcare ethics, clinicians are often faced with situations in which every available option involves both benefit and harm. There is no morally pure choice, only decisions that carry trade offs. The rule of double effect is an ethical principle designed precisely for these situations. It provides a framework for evaluating actions that produce both a good effect and a bad effect, and it helps us determine when such actions may still be ethically permissible. In this lecture, we will explore the rule of double effect, its moral logic, how it is applied in healthcare, and why it plays such a central role in end of life ethics and pain management. What is the rule of double effect? The rule of double effect is an ethical principle used to evaluate actions that have two foreseeable effects, one good or beneficial, one bad or harmful. According to this principle, an action that causes harm may still be ethically permissible if the harm is not intended, even if it is foreseen, and if the good effect sufficiently outweighs the harm. The central moral distinction here is between intended effects and foreseen but unintended side effects. In other words, the rule asks not only what happens, but what the agent aims to bring about. Philosophical background. The rule of double effect has roots in classical moral philosophy, particularly in traditions that emphasize intentionality in moral evaluation. From this perspective, moral responsibility is tied not only to outcomes, but to purpose, motivation, moral aim. An action's ethical status depends on what the agent is trying to do, not merely on all the consequences that follow. This makes the rule especially relevant in medicine, where clinicians often foresee harmful side effects while aiming at healing or relief, the core conditions of the rule of double effect. Traditionally, the rule of double effect is articulated through four conditions that must be met for an action to be ethically permissible. First, the action itself must be morally permissible or neutral. The clinician's act, such as administering medication, must not be intrinsically wrong. Second, the good effect must be intended, and the harmful effect must not be intended, even if it is foreseen. The harm cannot be the means by which the good is achieved. Third, the good effect must not result from the bad effect. In other words, the harm cannot be used as a tool to achieve the benefit. Fourth, there must be proportionality. The good effect must outweigh the bad effect, and there must be a sufficiently serious reason to permit the harm. These conditions together form a moral filter through which ethically complex actions are evaluated. Application in healthcare ethics. The rule of double effect is most commonly applied in end-of-life care, pain management, and palliative medicine. Clinicians in these settings frequently face decisions where relief of suffering is urgently needed. Interventions carry serious risks. Harmful side effects are foreseeable. The rule provides a way to distinguish ethically permissible care from intentional harm. Classic example, high-dose pain management. A widely cited example involves administering high doses of painkillers to a terminally ill patient. The intended effect is clear, to relieve severe pain and suffering. However, the foreseeable side effect may include respiratory depression, decreased consciousness, potentially hastened death. Under the rule of double effect, this action can be ethically justified if the clinician intends pain relief, not death. Death is not used as a means to end suffering. The dosage is proportionate to the level of pain. There is no less harmful alternative. The key moral claim is this: relieving suffering is the aim, hastening death is an unintended side effect. Intention versus outcome. One of the most important and controversial aspects of the rule of double effect is its emphasis on intention. Critics sometimes ask, if the clinician knows death may result, does intention really matter? Supporters respond that moral evaluation must distinguish between killing as a goal and accepting risk in pursuit of care. Without this distinction, many forms of ethically accepted medical practice, such as chemotherapy, surgery, or aggressive interventions, would become morally suspect due to their risks. The rule allows medicine to act decisively without collapsing beneficence into harm. Relationship to beneficence and non maleficence. The rule of double effect operates at the intersection of beneficence and non maleficence. Beneficence demands that clinicians act to relieve suffering and promote well being. Non maleficence demands that clinicians avoid causing harm. The rule of double effect recognizes that sometimes harm cannot be entirely avoided. Ethical medicine involves minimizing and justifying harm, not pretending it does not exist. It provides a moral structure for acting when doing good inevitably carries risk. Ethical strengths of the rule of double effect. The rule of double effect has several strengths in healthcare ethics. First, it acknowledges moral complexity. It avoids simplistic thinking that treats all harm as morally equivalent. Second, it preserves the moral importance of intentionality, which is central to professional integrity. Third, it supports compassionate care, especially in palliative contexts, without equating symptom relief with euthanasia. Fourth, it offers clinicians a defensible ethical rationale for difficult decisions that involve unavoidable trade offs. Criticisms and limitations. Despite its usefulness, the rule of double effect is not without criticism. Some argue that the distinction between intended and foreseen harm is psychologically thin. Intentions can be difficult to verify. The rule may be used to rationalize harmful outcomes. Others worry that over-reliance on intention can obscure systemic issues, such as inadequate palliative resources or institutional pressures. As with other ethical frameworks, the rule of double effect requires honest moral reflection, not mere formulaic application. The rule of double effect in contemporary practice. In modern healthcare ethics, the rule of double effect is often used in conjunction with principalism. Clinicians must still consider patient autonomy, proportionality, alternatives, fairness. The rule does not override other ethical principles, it operates within them. Conclusion. The rule of double effect offers a powerful ethical tool for navigating situations where medical care brings both healing and harm. It reminds us that ethical medicine is not about eliminating risk entirely, but about acting with moral clarity, proportionality, and integrity. By distinguishing between intention and side effect, the rule of double effect allows clinicians to relieve suffering responsibly without losing sight of the moral weight of their actions.